The fork stopped halfway to my mouth when she said it. We were sitting at her parents' dining table on a Tuesday night, just like we'd done hundreds of times over the past 22 years. Her mother, Dorothy, had just brought out her famous apple pie, and her father, Charles, was telling some story about his golf game at the country club. Then Patricia said it. "You already know I'd choose Cameron if he ever asked me. My name is Russell Bennett. I'm 58 years old, and I've been married to Patricia for 22 years. Or I was until that moment." She didn't whisper it or say it quietly, just stated it like she was commenting on the weather. Dorothy's hand froze on the pie server. Charles stopped mid-sentence about his birdie on the 12th hole. I could hear the grandfather clock ticking in the corner of their formal dining room. Patricia was smiling, not apologetic, not embarrassed, just this small, satisfied smile, like she'd finally gotten something off her chest. I looked at her for maybe 5 seconds, long enough to understand this wasn't a slip of the tongue. This wasn't her being careless with wine. She'd only had one glass. This was intentional. But here's the thing. I already knew about Cameron Lodge. Had known for about a week. Insurance sales rep, 45 years old, divorced, works with Patricia on healthcare contracts at the medical center. Smooth talker, drives a BMW, wears expensive suits. I'd found their text messages on Patricia's phone the previous Tuesday when she was in the shower. "I can't stop thinking about last weekend," one had read. "When can we be together again?" Another. "I wish things were different. I wish I could be with you all the time." That last one was from Patricia. I'd scrolled through months of messages, started innocent enough, work discussions, then lunch meetings, then weekend conferences that I now knew were hotel stays. 8 months of building up to what she'd just announced at her parents' dinner table. So when she made her declaration, I wasn't shocked by the information. I was shocked by the audacity, the complete disrespect of saying it in front of her parents, in front of me, like it was perfectly normal to tell your husband you'd choose another man. I set my fork down carefully, picked up my napkin, and wiped my mouth. "Thank you for dinner, Dorothy. Charles, that pot roast was excellent as always." I stood up and pushed my chair back. The legs scraped against their hardwood floor, too loud in the sudden silence. Charles opened his mouth, then closed it. Dorothy just stared. "Wait, where are you going?" Patricia's voice had changed. The satisfaction was gone, replaced by confusion, like I'd missed my cue in whatever scene she was directing. I didn't answer, just walked to their front door and grabbed my jacket from the coat rack. We'd hung our coats there together when we arrived an hour ago. Now I was leaving alone. "Russell, are you seriously leaving over a joke?" Her voice followed me, sharper now. I opened the door. The November air hit me cold. "It wasn't a joke," I said without turning around. Then I left. The drive home took 25 minutes. I didn't speed, didn't slam my hands on the steering wheel, didn't do any of the dramatic things you see in movies. Just drove normal, taking the same route home to the house we'd bought 15 years ago. But my brain was working differently now, like someone had turned on a light in a dark room and I could finally see all the furniture I'd been tripping over. The late nights at her job at the medical center, the phone calls that stopped when I walked into the room, the way she'd started dressing differently for work, buying new clothes that were more stylish than anything she'd worn in years. The weekend conferences that seemed to multiply over the past 8 months. All those times I'd asked about Cameron. "Oh, he's just a colleague, very professional. He helps me understand the insurance contracts better." Professional. Right. I'd noticed everything. Of course I'd noticed. Patricia and I had been together since we were in our 30s. You don't spend 22 years with someone without knowing when something's changed. But I'd chosen to trust her, chosen to believe her explanations about work stress and new responsibilities as a healthcare administrator. Finding those text messages had ended that choice. Tonight's dinner announcement had just confirmed what I'd already decided to do. I pulled into our driveway and sat there for a moment, looking at the house. White siding, blue shutters, the front porch I'd rebuilt myself 3 summers ago. Inside were 22 years of shared life. Wedding photos, vacation pictures, furniture we'd picked out together, the mortgage we'd been steadily paying down with an eye toward retirement in 7 years, had been paying down. Now I wasn't sure about anything involving we. I went inside and straight to the garage, where I kept the cardboard boxes from our last move 5 years ago when we'd relocated from the old house. Started carrying them upstairs to our bedroom, Patricia's side of the closet first. I pulled dresses off hangers, folded them methodically, packed them. Not angry, not throwing things around, just systematic. Her shoes, jewelry, The expensive perfume her sister had given her last Christmas. Bathroom next, makeup, hair products, that purple toothbrush she'd insisted on buying because it matched the towels. I worked methodically, precisely. This wasn't rage. This was resolution. My phone started buzzing around 10 p.m. Text messages from Patricia. I didn't read them, just kept packing. By midnight, I had 12 boxes stacked by the front door, everything that was clearly hers. I sat on our couch and looked at my phone. 23 missed calls, 18 text messages. The last one said, "I'm coming home. We need to talk about this like adults." I looked at the boxes by the front door, then stood up and walked to the garage. In the lockbox where we kept important papers, I found the business card for the locksmith who'd helped us when we first moved in. I called his 24-hour emergency number. Guy answered on the third ring, voice groggy. "Yeah? I need locks changed tonight. I'll pay double your rate." "Domestic situation?" "Something like that. I'll be there in 45 minutes. While he worked, I carried the boxes outside and arranged them neatly on the porch. Everything visible, everything organized. The locksmith handed me the new keys when he finished. "Seen this before," he said, not unkindly. "Good luck, man." After he left, I went back inside and locked the door with the new key. Then I sat back down on the couch and waited. Patricia's car pulled up at 1:47 a.m. I heard the door slam, her footsteps on the porch, then the key scratching in the lock. Once, twice, harder the third time. "What the hell?" Her voice was muffled through the door. More scratching, then knocking. "Russell, open this door." I didn't move. "I know you're in there. Open the door right now." Silence from me. My phone lit up on the coffee table where I'd left it. She was calling. I let it ring. "This is insane." Her voice was louder now. "You can't just lock me out of my own house." My house, actually. We'd bought it together, but only my name was on the deed. Something Charles had insisted on 15 years ago since I'd put down the entire down payment from my construction savings. "Just in case," he'd said. Guess it was just in case after all. The knocking got more aggressive, then stopped. I heard her talking on the phone outside, her voice becoming more distant. Then footsteps down the porch stairs, car door, engine starting. She left. I sat there in the dark living room of the house I'd bought, that I'd maintained, that I'd turned into a home. For the first time in months, maybe years, I felt like I could breathe properly. I woke up on the couch at 6:15 the next morning, neck stiff, still wearing yesterday's clothes. For about 10 seconds, I thought maybe it had been a bad dream. Then I saw the empty space where Patricia's reading chair used to be, the gaps on the bookshelf where her books had been, not a dream. I made coffee, strong black coffee that tasted like it could wake the dead. My phone had 47 notifications. I scrolled through them while the coffee finished brewing. "Patricia, I'm staying at my parents'. Patricia, we need to talk. Patricia, you're being ridiculous. Dorothy. Russell, please call. Let's work this out. Charles. Son, let's be reasonable here." I deleted all of them and blocked their numbers. The coffee finished brewing. I poured a cup and sat at our kitchen table, my kitchen table now, and thought about the past 22 years. We'd met when I was 36 and she was 32. I was working construction. She was finishing her degree in healthcare administration. Good woman, or so I thought. We built a life together, bought houses, talked about kids that never came, planned for retirement, supported each other through job changes and family deaths and all the normal things that happen over 2 decades. And apparently, sometime in the last 8 months, she'd decided that wasn't enough. My phone buzzed. Unknown number, I answered without thinking. "You can't just throw someone out of their home." Patricia's voice, borrowed phone. "I didn't throw you out. You left. You changed the locks. My house, my locks. We're married, Russell. That's not how it works." "Tell me something," I said. "How long have you been sleeping with Cameron?" Dead silence. "I found the text messages, Patricia. 8 months of them, hotel receipts, conference weekends that were really romantic getaways." "You went through my phone?" Her voice was different now, caught. "You left it on the kitchen counter. It kept buzzing. I thought it might be work." "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is." Another long pause. It's not physical. We just talk." "Right. That's why you told him you wished you could be with him all the time. That's why you spent last weekend at the Marriott downtown instead of the healthcare conference in Springfield. How did you... Credit card statements, Patricia. I pay the bills, remember? She was quiet for almost a minute. When she spoke again, her voice was smaller. It just happened. I didn't plan it. For 8 months? I was lonely. You work all the time, you never talk to me anymore, you just come home and watch TV. So you started an affair. It's not an affair. We've never... You told me last night you'd choose him over me, in front of your parents. That sounds like an affair to me. I was frustrated. I wanted to get your attention. You got it. More silence. Then, we can fix this. Go to counseling. Work things out. Nothing to work out. You made your choice clear. I didn't mean it that way. Then how did you mean it? The pause stretched longer this time. Finally, I don't know. I was angry. No, you were honest. Probably for the first time in months. I hung up and blocked that number too. My buddy Kevin called around 9 a.m. We'd known each other since high school, worked construction together for years before I moved into project management. Linda talked to Dorothy this morning, he said. What's going on, Russell? I told him exactly what Patricia had said at dinner, and about finding the text messages. He was quiet for a long moment. Jesus, he said finally. After 22 years? With some insurance guy? Cameron Lodge, divorced, drives a BMW, thinks he's God's gift to women. You want me to have a conversation with this guy? No, let him have her. He'll figure out soon enough what kind of person she really is. Kevin was quiet again. You need anything? Want to grab lunch later? Maybe, I'll let you know. Good friend. Didn't tell me I was overreacting, didn't suggest couples therapy, just offered to be there. I spent the rest of the morning going through our joint accounts online, taking screenshots of everything. Credit card statements showing charges at restaurants I'd never been to, hotels during her conferences, expensive gifts I hadn't bought her. The Marriott downtown, $189 for a weekend when she was supposedly at a healthcare conference 200 miles away. Dinner at Romano's, $150 for 2 people on a Tuesday night when I was working late. All of it paid for with our joint credit card. My construction salary paying for her affair, not planning anything specific with the documentation, just recording facts. My father always said, measure twice, cut once. Same principle applied here. Around noon, Patricia called again from another number. Stop ignoring me. We need to figure this out. Nothing to figure out. You can't just end a 22-year marriage over one mistake. One mistake? 8 months of lying isn't one mistake, Patricia. It's a choice you made every single day. I told you, nothing physical happened. You spent weekends in hotels with him. We just talked. In hotel rooms, that I paid for. Silence. You want to know what hurts the most? I continued. It's not even the affair. It's that you used our money to pay for it. Every dinner, every hotel room, every gift you bought him, that was my money. Money I earned working 50-hour weeks so we could build a life together. I never bought Cameron gifts. Nordstrom charged for $347 on October 15th. Men's cologne and a tie. I didn't get any cologne or ties that day. Another silence. I can explain that. Don't. I really don't want to hear it. Russell, please, I made a mistake. I know that, but we can work through this. You didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. Every text message, every hotel room, every lie you told me when you came home. And then you announced it at your parents' dinner table like it was something to be proud of. I was angry. I wanted you to pay attention to me. Mission accomplished. I didn't want this to happen. Then why did you let it happen for 8 months? She was crying now. I don't know. I felt invisible, like you didn't see me anymore. So you found someone who did see you. Good for you. Now you can be with him. He doesn't want a relationship, Russell. He just went through a divorce. He's not ready for anything serious. There it was. The real truth. Cameron didn't want her for anything permanent. She was just convenient. A married woman who wouldn't demand too much because she had a husband to go home to. So, you want to come back because your boyfriend doesn't actually want you. It's not like that. It's exactly like that. You made your choice, Patricia. You chose him. The fact that he doesn't choose you back isn't my problem. I hung up and blocked that number too. The thing is, I wasn't angry in the way you might expect. I wasn't breaking things or shouting or doing any of the dramatic stuff. I felt clear, like I'd been walking through fog for months and someone had turned on a fan. All those little moments I'd pushed down, all those times I'd told myself I was being paranoid or insecure, they weren't wrong. I wasn't crazy. I'd just been choosing to ignore what was right in front of me. Not anymore. I made lunch and thought about next steps. I could call a lawyer, start separation paperwork, get ahead of the situation. Or I could wait and see how desperate she got. My phone buzzed. Text from Kevin. Linda says Patricia's story is wild. Says you attacked her for no reason. I didn't ask for details. Didn't matter what story she was telling. Another text. Beer at Murphy's Tavern at 7 if you want. I typed back. I'll be there. The afternoon dragged. I tried to watch TV but couldn't focus. Tried to read. Same problem. Finally went out to the garage and worked on organizing my tools. Physical activity helped. Gave my hands something to do while my brain processed everything. Around 4 p.m., I got a call from the medical center where Patricia worked. Woman's voice, professional. Mr. Bennett, this is Jennifer Adams from Human Resources. I was wondering if we could speak confidentially about a situation involving your wife. What kind of situation? I'd rather not discuss it over the phone. Could you come in tomorrow, say 10 a.m.? Is Patricia in trouble? I really can't discuss details over the phone, sir, but yes, there's been a complaint filed. A complaint. About Patricia and Cameron, no doubt. Someone had noticed their relationship and reported it. Workplace affairs were against company policy, especially when they involved insurance vendors. I'll be there, I said. This was getting interesting. I showered, changed clothes, looked at myself in the bathroom mirror. Same guy as yesterday, but different somehow. Lighter. Funny how much weight you don't notice you're carrying until you finally put it down. The boxes were still gone from the porch when I left for Murphy's. Let the neighbors wonder what had happened. Let everyone know things had changed. Murphy's Tavern was busy for a Wednesday night. Local place, good burgers, sports on TV. Kevin was already there when I walked in, sitting at our usual booth. You look better than I expected, he said when I sat down. What were you expecting? More destroyed, I guess. The waitress came by. Betty worked there forever. What can I get you boys? Whatever's on tap, I said. She brought 2 beers. We drank in silence for a minute, watching the baseball game on the screen above the bar. So Linda heard Patricia showed up at Dorothy's place crying, Kevin said finally. Saying you went crazy, locked her out for no reason. For no reason? That's the story. According to Linda, Patricia claims what she said at dinner was a joke, that you completely overreacted. I took another drink. She mentioned the 8 months of text messages with Cameron. What text messages? I told him about finding Patricia's phone, the hotel receipts, the romantic weekends disguised as work conferences. Kevin's expression got darker as I talked. Jesus Christ, Russell, 8 months? 8 months of our credit card paying for her dates with this guy. And she's telling everyone you're the crazy one? Seems that way. Kevin shook his head. Linda's going to want to know about this. She's been defending Patricia all morning. Tell her whatever you want. Truth has a way of coming out. We watched the game for a while. Some team I didn't care about was losing to some team I cared about even less. My phone buzzed. Email notification. Law firm letterhead. I opened it. Standard legal language. Request to discuss property settlement, mediation, division of assets. They'd gotten a lawyer fast. Patricia's lawyer already? Kevin was reading over my shoulder. Her parents' lawyer, family guy, probably does their taxes too. You getting one? Thinking about it. My phone buzzed again. Text from another unknown number. The boxes are gone. Someone stole everything. I didn't respond. Another text. All my clothes, my jewelry, everything I own was in those boxes. Still didn't respond. Did you just smile? Kevin asked. Somebody took her stuff off the porch. Seriously? Apparently. He laughed, then caught himself. Man, that's cold. I didn't take anything, just left it where she could get it. Not my fault if she waited too long. We finished our beers and ordered another round. Around 9:30, my phone rang. I recognized Charles's number. Russell, we need to talk about this situation. Not much to talk about, Charles. She's my daughter. You can't just throw away 22 years of marriage over a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? She told me at your dinner table that she'd choose another man over me. You were sitting right there. Silence. And that was before I told you about the 8 months of affair with Cameron Lodge. The hotel rooms, the romantic dinners, all paid for with money I earned working construction. She said they're just friends. Friends don't spend weekends in hotel rooms together, Charles. Friends don't send text messages about wishing they could be together all the time. More silence. Did I misunderstand something? I asked. Because it seems pretty clear to me. She made a mistake, son. People make mistakes. For 8 months? That's not a mistake. That's a choice she made every day. You're both adults. You can work through this. She chose him. I'm just making it easy for her. But he doesn't want her. Not really. She told Dorothy he's not interested in anything serious. Not my problem anymore. Charles was quiet for a long moment. She's crying, Russell. Really crying. I haven't seen her this upset since she was a little girl. She should have thought about that before she announced she'd choose another man over her husband. She was just talking. Women say things when they're frustrated. Maybe. But I'm not going to spend the rest of my life wondering what else she might just say when she gets frustrated again. I hung up and looked at Kevin. He was staring at me. Dude, you're ice cold right now. No, just done. Finally done. We left around 10:30. I drove home carefully. 2 beers wasn't much, but I didn't need any complications. The porch was still empty when I pulled up. Inside, I locked the door with my new key and sat on the couch. The house felt different, quieter, but in a good way. No tension, no wondering what mood Patricia would be in, no walking on eggshells around topics that might set her off. My phone buzzed. Patricia again, different number. I need to get my things from inside the house. What things? I typed back. You know what things. My clothes, my personal items, my grandmother's jewelry. That was all in the boxes. Someone stole those boxes. Not my problem. Are you kidding me right now? My grandmother's ring was in there. I turned the phone off and put it face down on the coffee table. Her grandmother's ring, the one she'd inherited 5 years ago and hardly ever wore. Now suddenly it was precious to her. Tomorrow I'd meet with Jennifer Adams at the medical center, find out what complaint had been filed about Patricia and Cameron. Tonight, I was going to sleep in my own house, in my own bed, without wondering where my wife really was or who she was really with. The next morning, I woke up to someone pounding on my door, 7:15 a.m. I looked through the window. Patricia, Dorothy, and a woman I didn't recognize. Open up, Russell. I know you're in there. I made coffee first. Let them knock. This is harassment. Patricia's voice was shrill now. I'm calling the police. 20 minutes later, a police cruiser pulled up. 2 officers, young male and an older female. I opened the door before they knocked. Morning, officers. We got a call about a domestic situation, the woman said. Officer Martinez, according to her name tag. No situation here, just someone who doesn't live here anymore wanting to come inside. That's a lie, Patricia pushed forward. I live here. He locked me out. Ma'am, please step back, Officer Martinez said firmly. Is your name on the deed? The male officer asked. Officer Johnson. She hesitated. We're married. It's our house. Actually, just mine, I said calmly. Bought it 15 years ago, only my name on everything. Officer Martinez looked at me. Can we see some ID and proof of residence? I showed them my license, utility bills, property deed from my home office. Everything checked out perfectly. Ma'am, Officer Johnson said to Patricia, if your name isn't on any documentation and he's the sole owner, we can't force entry. This is insane. What about my belongings? Did you leave personal property here? Officer Martinez asked me. I packed what was clearly hers and left it on the porch yesterday. She says someone took it. He's lying. He threw my things out like garbage. Ma'am, you need to calm down, Officer Martinez said. They talked for another 10 minutes. Eventually, the officers told Patricia she'd need to pursue this through proper legal channels. Civil matter, not criminal. She stood on my lawn crying while Dorothy comforted her. The officers left. Patricia looked up at me standing in my doorway. This isn't over, she said. Yeah, it is. I closed the door and finished my coffee. At 10 a.m., I was sitting in Jennifer Adams' office at the medical center. Professional woman, maybe 45. Direct, but not unkind. Thank you for coming in, Mr. Bennett. This is a delicate situation. What kind of complaint was filed? Sexual harassment. A vendor using his position to pursue a relationship with a staff member. Cameron Lodge. I can't confirm names, but yes, the complaint alleges he's been using his insurance contract access to pursue an inappropriate relationship with one of our healthcare administrators. My wife. I'm afraid so. The complaint was filed by another staff member who witnessed inappropriate behavior in the office. I leaned back in my chair. What kind of behavior? Intimate conversations, physical contact, him bringing her expensive gifts, using conference rooms for private meetings that weren't work-related. And you're telling me this because? Because we're terminating our contract with his company, and because your wife is facing disciplinary action. She's been placed on administrative leave pending investigation. Patricia was going to lose her job, or at least face serious consequences. 8 months of an affair had finally caught up with her professionally. I thought you should know, Jennifer continued, since this will likely affect her employment status, and yours if you file for divorce. Already planning to, she nodded. I figured as much. I'm sorry this happened, Mr. Bennett. Your wife seemed like a dedicated employee until this situation. 3 weeks later, I was sitting in lawyer Amanda Richardson's office going over the divorce papers. She was sharp, experienced, no patience for games. You're in a strong position, she said. House is yours, no kids. She's facing job loss due to workplace misconduct. Her request for spousal support is ambitious but unlikely. What about her claiming emotional distress? Amanda smiled. Not friendly, more like a shark. Did you hit her? Threaten her? Destroy her property? No, packed it carefully and left it on the porch. Then she can claim distress all she wants. Judge will want to see evidence of actual harm. Her affair and workplace misconduct won't help her case. 6 months later, the divorce was final. Patricia fought it hard, tried every angle her parents' lawyer could think of, claimed the house, demanded support, even tried to argue emotional distress damages. Judge wasn't impressed. 22-year marriage, both employed until her misconduct, no children, clean split. I kept the house and 70% of our joint assets since I'd contributed most of the down payments and mortgage payments over the years. Patricia walked away with her retirement account and not much else. She'd also lost her job at the medical center. Last I heard, she was working part-time at a clinic across town and living with her parents. Cameron Lodge's insurance company lost their contract with the medical center. His reputation in the industry was damaged. Turns out Patricia wasn't his first workplace romance that had gone bad. I kept my job, got a small raise, and started dating again. Met Susan Taylor through Kevin's wife Linda, nurse at the hospital, 51 years old, divorced herself a few years back. Easy to talk to, no games, no drama. We've been seeing each other for 8 months now. Last week I got a text from Patricia. Different number again. I hope you're happy now. I stared at it for a minute, then deleted it without responding. She wasn't worth the energy anymore. I am happy now, as it happens. My house feels like home again. No tension, no wondering where I stand, no walking on eggshells. Susan comes over on weekends sometimes. We cook dinner, watch movies, talk about normal things. She laughs at my jokes, even the bad ones. At 58, I thought my life was pretty much set. Married, mortgage almost paid off, retirement in sight. Turned out I was wrong about a lot of things, but starting over isn't the worst thing that can happen to a man. Staying in a marriage with someone who doesn't respect you, that's worse. Some nights I sit on my front porch with a beer, watching the sunset, thinking about how different things could have been if Patricia had never made that comment at dinner. But then I realize she didn't create the problem that night. She just finally told the truth about it. 3 words at a dinner table ended 22 years of marriage. Could have been worse. Could have wasted another 22 years. The most valuable thing a man can protect isn't his house or his money. It's his self-respect. Once you give that up, everything else becomes meaningless.